Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The main committee for elections of the Shura Council members discusses the technical and human readiness for the next election. The National Defense College concludes the strategic training session Decision Making 6. And the Institute of Public Administration discusses establishing effective institutional quality performance evaluation system for government services. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a cable of thanks from His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of Qatar, in reply to His Majesty's greetings cable on the anniversary of his assumption to the throne. His Majesty the Sultan also received a cable of thanks from His Majesty King Abdullah II Ibn al-Hussein, King of Jordan, in reply to His Majesty's greeting cable on the anniversary of his assumption to the throne. And His Majesty sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, on his country's independence anniversary. The main committee for elections of the Shura Council members for the 9th term held its third meeting today. During the meeting, application for transferring the voter registration were reviewed. The continuity of the registration in the electoral register was also discussed, as well as the technical and human preparations. Works and roles of the various committees in this regard were reviewed. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Engineer Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Under Secretary of Ministry of Interior and Chairman of the committee. National Defense College concluded the strategic training session Decision Making 6. Experts, consultants, and media specialists participated in this training session. The training focused on crisis management and used hypothetical cases with simulated national, regional, and international data. The training session aims at preparing for a generation of civil and military leaders who are conscious of national security requirements and effective techniques adopted in strategic planning and decision-making. The closing ceremony was held under the patronage of His Excellency Lieutenant General Saeed bin Ali Al-Hilali, Chief of Internal Security Service. Institute of Public Administration concluded its second meeting this year, which was headed by the chairman, His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Omar Al-Marhoun. During the meeting, Board of Directors for Institute of Public Administration affirmed the importance of training projects conducted for middle management staff at the Ministry of Education. The board reviewed the national project for national cadres specialized in economic feasibility studies for development projects and the latest status updates on the Institute's new building. The role of the Institute, in line with the government efforts in establishing the effective institutional quality performance evaluation system for government services, were discussed. The new laws concerned with foreign capital investment, privatization, and partnership between public and private sectors, bankruptcy, seeks to establish legislative environment that organizes and attracts different investments. These laws came to keep pace with the changes and requirements of the upcoming phase, increase Sultanate's competitiveness, and make it an attractive destination for foreign capital investment. The law provides advantages and incentives for investors and guarantees that's equal to those of the domestic projects. The law will contribute to enhance the Sultanate's position as an investment destination that attracts more foreign capital investment. The law on partnership between public and private sectors that deals with awarding tenders for infrastructure and public service projects through partnership between public and private sectors. This move will contribute to expanding the productivity base of the Sultanate and diversifying the source of national income based on the success of the private sector to raise its contribution in the implementation of investment projects during the current 5-year development plan to 60%. Privatization law deals with transferring public facilities to companies, which will expand the role of private sector with regard to ownership and management of various economic activities and will encourage to attract investment, expertise, and technology. With the start of monsoon winds on areas located on the Arabian Seas, waves' height will increase. This requires all to be cautious and avoid swimming in the sea. The bodies concerned urges all citizens and residents to take precautionary measures when venturing into the sea, as drowning cases have increased lately. From Ras Al Had till the governorate of Dhofar in the south, temperature has declined and waves' heights increased as a result of monsoon winds. Most fishermen stopped working, however, tourists start coming to these areas to enjoy the low temperature and beautiful nature, especially in the governorate of Dhofar. Keeping up with the tourist flow witnessed by the Dhofar governorate during the rainy season, and to facilitate the passengers' arrival to Salalah airport, was already to receive the first flights from the United Arab Emirates to Salalah directly. Also, in view of the high demand by tourists to enjoy the rainy weather in the governorate of Dhofar, Etihad Airways announced 4 weekly flights during this season. Accordingly, Etihad Airways' first direct flight to Salalah arrived today from Abu Dhabi. The trip comes as a part of a series of international flights that are being conducted in conjunction with the tourist season in the Dhofar governorate. 4 weekly flights between Salalah and Abu Dhabi will increase the number of tourists to the governorate to enjoy the autumn weather and its various activities. Still to come on News Bulletin. Tens of thousands of tourists landed in Chile and Argentina to watch a total eclipse of the sun.
احرص على التأكد من بياناتك الانتخابية من خلال الموقع الإلكتروني للانتخابات elections.om. انتخابات أعضاء مجلس الشورى للفترة 9. مع تحيات وزارة الداخلية.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu today praised the crew of the Russian submarine in which 14 sailors has died. Shoigu paid tribute to the crew as he visited the Navy Arctic base of Severomorsk to investigate the fire on board of the submarine. The minister said crew members had fulfilled their duty by extinguishing Monday's fire and by saving the lives of civilian experts and other sailors who had been on board at the time. The sub was on a mission to measure the sea depths in Russia's territorial waters and the Barnett Sea. The seamen were killed by toxic fumes from the blaze. Russian media identified some of the victims, including the captain Denis Dolonsky, who was awarded the Hero of Russia Medal for an Arctic seabed research mission in 2012. The submarine was the nuclear-powered research vehicle Loshurik. Swedish Special Envoy Kent Harstedt is on a 4-day trip to North Korea, raising speculation that he may find a chance to ask about the fate of missing Australian Alex Sigley. Harstead arrived on Monday. He met North Korea Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho. Sweden acts as protecting power for the US, Canadian, and Australian citizens in North Korea, and that includes consular services for individual visitors. Australia has diplomatic relations with North Korea, but the two countries do not have embassies in each other's capitals at the moment. Sigli is a 29-year-old student who vanished in North Korea a week ago. Some media reports say Sigli, a Pyongyang University student and a tour guide, has been detained. Japanese authorities today directed more than 1 million residents to evacuate their homes as heavy rains batter the region, prompting fears of landslides and widespread flooding. Heavy rain has continued in southern Japan since Friday, causing rivers to overflow. The Fire and Disaster Management Agency said the evacuation directives were issued in 3 southern prefectures. The agency said landslide warnings have been issued for parts of the 3 prefectures because rain is expected to intensify over the next few days. 14,000 ground troops were standing by for emergency rescue and search operations if needed. Tens of thousands of tourists and locals gazed skyward as a total eclipse of the sun darkened the heavens over Chile and Argentina. Tourists from around the world gathered to witness the cosmic spectacle, which began at 10:24 a.m. local time, crossing over a tiny atoll in the South Pacific. Chile and Argentina were the only inhabited places where the total eclipse could be seen. The eclipse made its first landfall in Chile in La Serena, where more than 300,000 visitors from around the world arrived. Northern Chile is known for clear skies and some of the largest, most powerful telescopes on Earth that are being built in the area, turning the South American country into a global astronomy hub. The Earth's next total solar eclipse will be on December 14, 2020, and it also will cross Chile and Argentina, though on a different path. A video showing a boy falling between a train and a platform at a Sydney train station earlier this year was released to urge parents to be vigilant when traveling on trains with children. The CCTV footage released by the New South Wales State Transport Minister Andrew Constance shows the train arriving at Sydney's Sydenham station and the boy falling as he tried to board with his mother. Passengers managed to pull the boy out safely and he was not hurt. Nearly 200 children were injured on the train network in the state in the past 12 months. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The main committee for elections of the Shura Council members discusses the technical and human readiness for the next election. The National Defense College concludes the strategic training session Decision-Making 6. And the Institute of Public Administration discusses establishing effective institutional quality performance evaluation system for government services. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching and have a good night.